Hello, welcome back to the podcast. Today, I am going to share a metaphor with you. This is one of those things that you hear, and then a couple days later, you realize you're still thinking about it. And then a couple days after that, you realize you're still thinking about it. And the more you think about it, the complexity of it gets deeper and deeper and deeper. And then you start talking to people about it and it starts coming to life in your life. This is one of those really cool metaphors. So I heard this recently, and the person who was sharing it didn't even remember where she had heard it from. And so it's just one of those universal things that's making its way around. And I was like, you know what? We're going to bring this to the podcast because this is really special. It's going to be a beautiful thing for you to contemplate and a beautiful thing for us to break open together. So what the metaphor basically is, and it speaks into the power of this work. Everything that we do in Sanctuary of She, when it comes to the power of the mind, the power of energetics, the power of self-care, the power of manifestation, the power of thought, all of it. So why is this work so important? Most people find me, most people find the community, find the podcast because you're a visionary. Right? If you're here, it's because you have dreams. You have things that you want in life. The comfort zone is comfortable, but it also feels a bit stagnant and boring to you. There's pieces of yourself that you want to explore, different identities of yourself. And with that, there's things in life that you want to experience. You want to experience who you are when you're all of you. You want to experience what bridges open for you when you tap into your potential. You want to experience what magic and divinity reveals itself for you when you're living life fully awake. So take that and ground that into mind as I share this with you. This metaphor speaks into when we bring this down into a day-to-day situation, how much control and empowerment we have over ourselves when it comes to what we're putting into motion through our why when it comes to this work, okay? So the metaphor goes like this. You are holding a cup of coffee and somebody bumps into you and the coffee spills out of your cup. It's so easy for us to say, I got bumped. And that's the reason that the coffee spilled out of my cup. And this is true. This is very true. But what's also true is that the reason coffee poured out of the cup is because there was coffee in the cup. If you would have put water in that cup, then when you got bumped, water would have come out of the cup and it wouldn't have been as big of a deal. What does this mean? This means that what is it that we couldn't control in that situation? What we couldn't control in that situation was that someone bumped us. And this is the metaphor for life. So many times, every single day, in small and big ways, we get bumped. We get bumped by things happening outside of us that are out of our control. It is inevitable that we will get bumped. But what in this scenario can we control? We can control what is in our cup so that when we inevitably do get bumped, we are in control of what pours out. So this poses the question for us to ask ourselves on a day-to-day basis. If you stop blaming the things that bump you for the spills and you really ask yourself, what would your answer be to what is typically in your cup? Because this is different than your why. This is different than your big visions that you hold. This really comes down to asking yourself the question of, when I'm disconnected from the things that are going to bump me and I'm disconnected to the things that I'm excited about, my day-to-day natural state, what is in my cup? Is it that when I get bumped, I get frustrated, I get angry, I get sad, I close down, I shut off, I retract, I procrastinate, I'm in resistance, and I ripple that out when I get bumped? Or on a day-to-day basis, is my cup filled with peace, love, gratitude, presence, slowness, fulfillment, excitement, curiosity, so that when I get bumped, right, it's still a spill. Spills don't have to be fully joyful, but what is it that pours out of you? From that place, it's going to be compassion, it's going to be love, it's going to be slowness, it's going to be a response versus a reaction. It's going to be, okay, this happened, now what? When we look at it like this, it's such an empowering thing because we realize truly how much control we do have in the things that we do have control over, because we don't have control in what's going to bump us, but we do have control in ourselves. A mantra that I often play with, that I adore, is I control myself and nothing else. Because when we're not careful, what we can do is we can leave ourselves to try to control everything around us. This is the nervous system being unsettled and needing to, it's that inner masculine coming out, but being overly assertive and trying to control all the pieces to make ourselves feel safe. But that's not where the magic happens. There's a time and a place for that, right? When tragedy happens, when big things happen, when we have to think fast, when we have to problem solve, that part of ourselves, please take the floor. But on a day-to-day basis, operating like this, if that's how you're operating, then when you get bumped, it's typically the negativity that pours out, or the things that slow you down, the thought patterns, the narratives, the beliefs that just make you feel overwhelmed that you don't even want to get back on track. So if you can rein that in and just notice, okay, what if I don't need to control everything outside of myself? The things that I can control, that I do need to control, I control myself and nothing else. What are the things that I do need to control? And how can I release the rest? When you can release the rest, oh my gosh, do you feel that exhale in your body even just when I say that? When you can release the rest, your body comes into this trust. Your body comes into its innate deep knowing. Your body comes into this playful spirit again. Your feminine gets to lead. Your feminine gets to come in. And that's where the magic happens. And from that place, when you get bumped, it's like, oh, dang it. But can you laugh about it? Can you not let it ruin the rest of your day, week, month? But can you divert it, laugh about it, have compassion, and ripple that out? Because the basis of energetics is that what we put out, we attract, right? And so it's a day-to-day action and checking in of what's in our cup that actually determines the things that we're going to receive and manifest from that place. It's not about sitting where you're at with a cup full of coffee and saying, oh, but I want this thing, and then wondering why and getting frustrated with the universe when that thing continues to not be appearing. It's all a quantum mirror. So in order to really not only get the thing, but collapse time around the time in which it's going to take to receive that thing, we've got to have water in our cup. It's got to match the frequency of the things that we're calling in. Otherwise, we're missing it completely, because what we put out, we attract. So what are the things that allow you to feel that you have water in your cup? What are those days? How do they start? What are the rituals, the practices, the habits, the routines that allow you to begin the day from a cup filled with water, so that no matter what inevitably each day is going to bring to you, you are in alignment with what you're calling in. And you don't fear getting bumped, because you know you trust yourself to handle it and stay in alignment when you do get bumped. So this is a short episode today. I invite you to turn off distractions, put your phone in airplane mode, turn on some music that makes you feel really peaceful, and spend the next few minutes, whatever you're doing, just allowing yourself to transmute and alchemize any coffee that might be inside of you into water, in the name of letting yourself enjoy now just as much as you will when the things come. And now they finally will. with the mirror that you're putting out. When we get to know this version of ourselves that is filled with water more and more every day, it's a practice, right? It's not going to happen instantly. It's a practice. 95% of our thoughts, feelings, and actions come from a computer system that we have programmed our entire lives. So it's going to take time to override that. It's going to take your conscious awareness, your intentionality. Identity is repeated beingness. But if you can cultivate water in your cup through, I control myself and nothing else, being in control of your energetics on a daily basis, your state of mind, taking care of your body, using your divine masculine to put the things in motion. And then when you come into feminine, be in a relaxed nervous system, be open to the magic, not in a rush, but present and in the beauty of what's here right now, enjoying the fruits of the things around you that were once seeds, cultivating this water inside of you. When you can tap into that, everything's available. And you realize it was always there at your fingertips. You just couldn't reach it when you were filled with coffee. So play some music. Come in, feel your water, feel how good that feels, and do what you need to do to cultivate a relationship to start your days here with her. So that doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're brushing your teeth, if you're driving in your car, if you're grocery shopping, if you're doing homework with your kids, if you're cooking, if you are working, if you are building your business, if you are traveling, you're filled with water. Life is so joy-filled when we're filled with water. I want that for you. Not just for right now, but for everything you're going to receive through cultivating this superpower. So what's in your cup? I'll see you next week.